It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Mortal Kombat 1, in particular, the MK1 community. Some of you guys, I don't know how to say it other than you're crazy. What's up? It's your boy Dynasty back with some more MK1, MK Uno content for you all on this Sunday afternoon. More laid back and chill because what we're about to unpack and discuss is something I've seen spammed on my feed all weekend. You guys do know that this week the Chaos Reigns expansion dropped. Tuesday, I gave my honest thoughts on the DLC yesterday in like a 20-minute sit down where I feel like I echoed pretty much the same sentiment that a lot of you guys had. Pretty average expansion. The actual DLC characters so far, Sector, Cyrax, and Noob Saibot, fun. Great reimagining of the classics in terms of Sector and Cyrax and Noob. Interesting new takes to say the least. Obviously, the elephant in the room is still the gender swaps, but outside of that, I'm pretty content. I think the best part for me when it comes to the expansion is the actual DLC characters, their playstyle, their gameplay. $40, $50 worth? Probably not, but when you consider that you're getting the 6 DLC characters plus like 2 hours of cutscenes, I guess it kind of makes sense. I would have priced it at like $30, but I'm not WB. Trust, if I was, things would be a lot different. But for the most part, that's essentially the vibe I've been seeing from content creators, pro players, you guys, the casuals, everybody. So we're all pretty much about it. However, some of you guys are pushing it a bit too far. Now, if you clicked on the video, it's probably because I titled it what we'll be talking about. Ed Boon blocking people for not liking the DLC expansion. Maybe? Apparently? Allegedly. Now, over the past couple days, I've been seeing videos pop up on my feed. I've been seeing screenshots of what appears to be Ed Boon blocking people. And it's taken a pretty crazy turn. Now, from what I can tell, Ed Boon isn't blocking people on Twitter, X, unless you're going out of your way to make personal attacks against people on the actual development team at NetherRealm Studios. If you missed it, I don't know how you missed it, because again, I've just been spammed this on my feed for days. Somebody pieced together this petition to get the story writer for Mortal Kombat 1, Dominic Solo, fired. I shit you not. Now, I didn't click on the petition. I have no idea how many signatures I got, but the person who made that petition apparently got blocked by Boon and then shared that screenshot. Now, what I believe is happening is people are grabbing that screenshot, resharing it, and then claiming that Boon is also blocking them for voicing their opinions about Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns being lackluster and underwhelming. Now again, this is just my opinion. I feel like the community is kind of gaslighting people into believing that Boon is just going on Twitter and blocking literally anybody that has anything negative to say about Mortal Kombat. And I just don't think that's the case. I really don't. If you guys know me, you know I've been shitposting on X, Twitter for over a decade. I've kind of cut it back over the recent years a lot. But back in the day, I was always trolling Boon in the replies. I used to have notifications on and would just be snarky and ask for things. And, you know, I was that guy. And to this day, despite me leaking content, being an asshole, Boon has never blocked me. And from what I can tell, I don't think Boon's really ever blocked most people. Only if you're making dedicated attacks towards the development team, or in this case in particular against the guy responsible for the writing of Mortal Kombat 1. Now trust, again, if you've watched my content over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, I am not a fan of the way and the route this NetherRealm Studios writing team has gone. In particular, Dominic Solo, how he's made changes going back to Sindel, Mortal Kombat 11, the reboot that is MK1 marvelized. Like, I do not agree with a lot of what Dominic Solo says, does in interviews. I don't necessarily like the things he says. I just don't see eye to eye with Dominic Solo. However, what I think is pushing it too far would be to probably start a hate campaign and spam the head director at NetherRealm to get his compadre fired. What were you expecting was gonna happen? Now, before you say, Dynasty, it's free speech, trust me, I agree with you 100%. If you truly think that Dominic Solo has ruined the franchise, done all this to just completely kill Mortal Kombat 1, and you want to go out of your way and do those things, do what you got to do, man. Make your petitions. Just don't be shocked and surprised when Boon uses his freedom of the block button and decides, yeah, I don't feel like seeing that today. I'm also a content creator. I've dealt with trolls. Sometimes you just don't want to open up your X Twitter account, your feed, and just see somebody blaming you for killing something that you've dedicated blood, sweat, tears, and years to. I'm not saying Boon is justified. I'm not saying that this game is great. I'm simply just saying, maybe take it easy. Maybe touch some grass. There's more to life than Mortal Kombat. And I feel like some of you guys might need to hear that. So, instead of being gaslit into believing that Ed Boon does not listen to criticism, that Ed Boon hates the fans, that Ed Boon wants MK1 to fail, I need you guys to just be real here. Need you to be real here. Do you really think that Ed Boon has his head in the sand and doesn't watch YouTube videos, doesn't read YouTube comments, Twitter replies, things of that sort? He obviously does. And again, I feel like he's definitely read his fair share of negativity over the years, and in return, understands the reason why we're hard is because we want this franchise to thrive, to live. He keeps saying Mortal Kombat is a forever franchise. You don't think that pressure's on Boon every single day? And again, I'm not making this to be an Ed Boon apologist or like a NetherRealm apologist, the WB apologist. I just feel like sometimes you guys take it a bit too far. And I feel like over the weekend, seeing a lot of you guys kind of go unhinged and try to get somebody fired, I think that's kind of taking it a bit too far. If you go back to the days of Mortal Kombat versus DC, right after the big WB merger, I'm pretty sure that is when Dominic Solo was introduced into the fold that is NetherRealm Studios' life after Midway per se. And I'm pretty sure it's the first time that Dom started working on like the story mode aspect of Mortal Kombat games. And back then, I think we had like 8 or 9 writers, and since then, we've made our way from like 9 writers to like 7 writers, to like 4 writers, to like 2 writers, to 1 writer. Ironically enough, it's kind of the opposite of the WWE writing team problem. If you guys watch wrestling, WWE, you do know that they had a whole writing team forever, a bunch of writers, and because of that, things ended up never coming to fruition. However, once they kind of just stopped putting that pressure on several different writers and just had essentially 1 or 2, 3 writers, the quality of the work got better because it was less cooks in the kitchen. Shit got real, it got better. In regards to Mortal Kombat, it kind of had the opposite effect because instead of having a 5-star chef by himself cooking in the NetherRealm Studios kitchen, we have a sous chef trying to brunt the load, and it's pretty evident that Dominic Solo can't do it himself. Now, how do we fix this? Guys, you gotta play in the parameters. You gotta give constructive feedback. You gotta speak with your wallets. You can't go full unhinged mode. Now, if you don't agree with me and you, again, believe that you have the freedom to voice your concerns no matter what it is, if you want to try to get someone fired, man, do whatever you see fit. I don't condone it. If you want to do it, do it. But for me, if you're going to take down what is currently the status quo at NetherRealm Studios, WB, I think you simply just got to voice your opinion with your wallet, with making videos breaking down why you think the story sucked, where they can improve from a gameplay aspect. Go into how you want to see some more defensive mechanics implemented. Talk about why the cameo system does not work. Bring up some solutions to the issues. That's all I'm saying. Because I feel like when you just simply gaslight an entire community and say that, well, Ed Boon doesn't listen to criticism, he blocks everybody, you're really doing a disservice, and it's really just fucked up. Because I've seen them deliver on things that we needed to get fixed. You guys think I was making those videos last year about every single bug before bigger channels and people were talking about it was just because I wanted to poke fun and I didn't want it to get fixed? No, I wanted that stuff to get fixed, so I brought attention to it. I talked about these game-breaking glitches and bugs because I wanted this game to be better. Despite me constantly saying I am underwhelmed with Mortal Kombat 1, that doesn't mean that I truly, as a day one Mortal Kombat fan, want to hate this game. I go into things with low expectations, not negative expectations, because I want to be surprised. I want to see Mortal Kombat live. I want to see it get saved. And again, you just gotta kind of play with those parameters without gaslighting and making out things that aren't true. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Ed Boon has blocked hundreds of people over the weekend for simply saying things like, Chaos Reign sucked. I haven't seen that. If that's been happening and I'm completely wrong, my bad, I'm sorry. But as somebody who has sat back for a couple of days and seen this play out, I haven't seen Ed Boon just going out of his way to not listen to any type of criticism. I feel like he does what he can. If you guys listen to any interview that Boon has, he literally says he's not programmed anything in over 20 years. He's been at the top for a long time. He's in those meetings. He decides a lot of vital things. But there's still only so much that Boon can do. Boon is not writing the story. It's one guy. And maybe that's something we got to talk about. Maybe we have more than Dominic Seen solo writing moving forward. Doesn't mean you got to fire the guy. Mortal Kombat 9 had a good story. There were other writers who were there, though. And I do think that that could simply be a solution. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. NetherRealm Studios just laid off 100+ people from their mobile team like 2 months ago. And again, despite how WB has treated me, the studios treated me, I really would not want to see anybody out of work. That's the last thing I would ever want, especially in this medium where I feel like the gaming industry, it's so much harder to have a W if you're like on that side of things than it ever has been, because video games just cost so much more money, and I feel like they're just being pumped out left and right without giving them time to really cook. So I feel like the pressure is constantly on the team. I feel like they're trying their best, but I do think it's kind of just where we're at. And I don't think gaslighting and begging for someone to get fired is going to fix things. Guys, I'm just trying to be real here. This is my perspective on what I've seen over the past few days. Do I know Ed Boon personally? Can I pick up my phone, give him a phone call, and say, hey, Ed, is this happening? No, I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could call Boon and be like, hey, Ed, so I'm seeing on Twitter that apparently you've been blocking a bunch of people saying anything negative. You want to give a response? I don't have that luxury. You don't have that luxury. But you know what we can do? We can not buy Chaos Reigns. We can be constructive with our criticism and our feedback. We can be open and honest, but more importantly, we can be respectful. I know if you're like me, like I just said earlier, you want this franchise to do better. We all have high expectations for what many of us think is the greatest fighting game of all time. For me and you, it's our life, it's our childhood. It's something that we've had the displeasure of seeing lose its quality over the recent years, but I do think that we got to do things the right way. If you don't like Chaos Reigns, dude, trust me, you're not alone. A lot of us think this is a very mid waste of money. Trust. If you hate the way this story, Liu Kang's new era, has all these stupid timelines, trust, you're not alone. Let's just be honest, but ultimately, I think we should just be genuine and respectful. That's all I'm saying. And to solely blame one writer for killing something, I think is fucking crazy. Because it wasn't just one writer. Dominic Solo did not create the cameo system. Dominic Solo did not initially start out with $10 skins and $10 fatalities. Dominic Solo did not lie with the marketing saying that the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin would only be obtainable if you pre-ordered MK1. Dominic Solo is not responsible for the player one advantage glitch. Dominic Solo is not responsible for us still not having online lobbies. Do you get what I'm saying? It's more than just having one guy fired. This game is a fucking dumpster fire, and getting rid of one guy is not going to change anything because the machine is the machine. They'll get someone else that just simply, yeah, let's do this. Let's do what Dom was doing. Let's keep the multiverses going. Like, it's not gonna solve anything. If we're gonna make a change, we gotta make a change organically through the system. And that's why ultimately, I don't want no one to lose their jobs. I don't. But I truly do think, now that we're here and we're talking about it, I felt this way for a long time. In that Warner Brothers ecosystem, guys, I've worked for WB. I know how these people think. I know how they lie. I know how they run their business. I do not think a game like Mortal Kombat, a game that created the ESRB rating, can ever be saved under that umbrella. If another company can come and buy the studio out with the IP, give them a lot more freedom like they had even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I think then we can dial it back and kind of really revisit what made Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat. Right now, they're literally just turning Mortal Kombat into a Marvel brand, it feels like. And that's bigger than Boon, and that's bigger than the studio. That's WB at the helm, who we have on paper quoting that they want to nickel and dime Mortal Kombat fans more than before because they think they're still leaving money on the table and they want to do a live service system on a $70 full price game that still charges you for the DLC updates. It's not a NetherRealm problem per se when you got WB yelling the commands and screaming from the top of their gigantic pile of shit saying, you gotta do this, you gotta meet these check boxes to get these tax breaks, etc., etc., etc. So, I know it's easy to blame the studio, but I do think the problems are bigger than the studio, which is why I ask, just take it easy, guys. It's not just Mortal Kombat, it's gaming in general. It's going to shit. This is not the first time that we've seen a franchise fall apart. Look at Ubisoft. Look at what Ubisoft is going through right now. They just delayed their next big game months, and the feedback has been really bad. AAA games are falling apart left and right. It's kind of just par for the course, so let's just be patient. Let's see how everything unfolds, and let's give Boon a break, man. Give Boon a break. Hey, Ed, if you watch this video, maybe you'll tweet it out. I doubt it because I'm not one of your favorites. I'm being facetious here. But maybe just stay off Twitter for a few days because they got you looking real bad right now. Really bad. And it sucks because this is like our Stan Lee, you know, Ed Boon, John Tobias, Dan Ford, and John Vogel. You know, shout out to Brian Chard writing the story for years. Like a lot of these guys, right? These OGs, these midway OGs, man. They created something we love, and we can't forget that. Ultimately, We can't forget that. As much as we hate the current status of Mortal Kombat, if we want to make a change, let's make a change, but let's do it the right way. You feel me? We got to find that balance. We got to communicate, but we just got to do it respectfully. So I guess that's all I'm asking for. I don't know. Hashtag Dynasty's a sellout. I'm still not sponsored. I was only sponsored for a year. They sent me a code for MK11. They gave me the Scorpion helmet. They flew me out. That's all I ever got from WB. I'm not expecting to ever be associated with them ever again, nor do I want to be associated again. I don't want to be flown out to NetherRealm Studios. I don't care if I have a working relationship with anybody there. I have no skin in the game other than the fact that I've been covering Mortal Kombat on my channel for like 14 years now. Hell, this is the same dude, Ed Boon, who came out and said that he wouldn't make like a YouTuber ad-friendly, you know, rainbow color setting because he felt like it would kill and ruin the integrity of Mortal Kombat. Like, think about that. Think about that for a second. The marketing for this game, a lot of it's done through content creators like myself or whatever. Boon literally said, I will make your job harder because I do not want to ruin the integrity of what Mortal Kombat is known for, i.e. blood and gore, guts. Boon said that. And here I am defending him. So, like, you know, I'm just saying, if you're going to say Boon's blocking you, maybe, like, provide proof of what you said, and again, like, in video format, show it, because I just find it hard to believe that Boon is that thin-skinned. Just saying, but that's where we're at. I just want everybody to get along. Why can't we be friends? Friendship. Somebody use it. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. What do y'all think of the situation? I've been, like I said, covering Mortal Kombat for 14, 15 years at this point. And it's more polarizing than ever. And holy shit, how does it get better? What do? We need our own version of the MK1 Avengers to come out and save the day. Where's John Tobias at? Can John Tobias, the glue, come back and glue this thing back up? John Tobias and Dominic C. Solo, can they fix the writing? I think they can. I think they can. You see? Solutions. We can find them. You just gotta be kind of sane and touch some grass. I love you guys. See how much hate I get for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Living on it crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count